You never hit a man where he's weak. Never. It could be true, it could be real, but you don't hit him where he's weak because it'll turn around on you. You can get him to do what you need him to do, but you never hit a man where he's weak because they never forget it. It lives with them.
Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest, most of these people end up, doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. It's real.
What's something that you used to value that you don't value anymore?
Being understood. People can really only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves, which means that some people simply won't have the ability to understand you, and that's okay. You don't need to fight to be heard, to be seen, to be approved of. Sometimes it's just okay to say, we don't agree. I don't think you understand, and let it be.
Respect. Whoa. Mentally strong people don't believe every stupid thing they think. Mentally strong people know what they want. Relationships, work, money, physical, emotional, spiritual health. Mentally strong people always ask themselves this one question: does it fit? Does my behavior fit the goals I have for my life?
I fell in love over the course of a second. Like, I remember the first time I saw my wife, I literally felt like I had been punched in the chest, and I did not understand what the was going on. So I don't know how to explain that. So this is the reason I believe in soulmates, because I've tried to figure out what happened to me what happened the first time I saw her. And it was like years before we dated. I just saw this girl, and I wasn't like sexually attracted to her or anything. I just saw this girl, and it was like, I remember I was walking by a picnic bench. Like a picnic table, sorry. I was walking by a picnic table, and she was walking the other way. I was walking this way past the picnic table. She was walking this way. And I saw this girl, and it was like someone's punched me in the chest. I was like, what the hell was that? Didn't really think anything of it. Years later, we met. So that, I don't know how to explain that.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
This is going to be corny, but I think it's the most powerful thing in the world. If you read every ancient text, whatever religion, the Nag Hammadi, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you read, the most common phrase, including the Bible, the New Testament, the Old Testament, even the forbidden books of the Bible, like the book of Timothy and Thomas and Judas, the most common phrase ever repeated in all of those texts, you know what it is? Do not fear. In every single ancient religious text is, fear not or do not fear or some variation of that. Funny enough, the King James Version of the Bible says do not fear 365 times.
You're going to lose your parents. All of us will lose our parents. Hopefully, they don't never have to say goodbye to us. But if things go well, we're going to have to say goodbye to our parents. And we can't be angry about it. We want to say thank you for the times we had. And I think to have that level of appreciation for everything in our lives, how temporary all of this is, I think it makes you happier. I know it sounds like, it makes you happier to just look at someone and be grateful.
As I'm getting older, man, I'm realizing that my mums, wow. You know, sometimes I call my mum. See, you shouldn't ask me about mum because now I'm just gonna spend the rest of it.
I'm fine with it.
But I'll FaceTime her and I'm like, she's talking, making me laugh, whatever. And I'm like looking around for like a recording device. Like, I just want to record her voice. Like, it's at that place now where I'm just trying to hold on to everything she's given me, you know, because for all of us, our mothers aren't always going to be here. But wow, what amazing joy and luck you have to have your mother in your life. I mean, the other day, just yesterday, I called her. It's like, yeah, we're in New York. I got the premiere, we got billboards everywhere. Yeah, Brad Pitt's here today. She's like, all right, shut the fuck up. Calm down. Humble yourself.
Yeah.
Stay grounded. You know, remember where you came from. Yeah. I was like, thank you, Mom, I love you. Like, that is just invaluable.
There's a thing called sleep restriction training. It's very effective, but it is brutal. We're going to set the clock and you're going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't care what happens. You're waking up at 5 in the morning, period. And we're not even going to get into bed until 11:59. So you're going to have 5 hours of sleep at most. And you know what happens night one? You lay there and you don't fall asleep. And you're also staring at the clock knowing I have to get up at 5. And you're laying there worrying and thinking about how you're not sleeping, and it is brutal. And you're going to have a couple of hours of sleep and you're going to wake up at 5. And you're going to get up at 5 every single day, period. You're also going to not get into bed. No matter how tired you are, you're not getting into bed until 11:59. And you do that for a week. What will happen very quickly is your body will start to realize a new pattern of, yo, the second she lets us lay down, you better fall asleep. And you better not mess around during those 5 hours because we're not getting any naps, we're not getting anything else, right? You will start to fall asleep quickly and you will jump right into deep sleep, and you'll go through a pretty compressed but a proper sleep architecture. Every week then you add back 10 to 15 minutes. So next week you go to bed at 11:45, and you know what happens next week when you get into bed at 11:45?
The secret to a really happy and stable romantic relationship is being, not doing. It is. And this is what people always get wrong, especially dudes, by the way. It's like, I'm going to do more, have more results. Right? Do more, work harder, get more results. She wants you to be. She wants you to see her. She wants the eye contact. She wants your presence. She wants your soul, man. She wants your soul. No, I'm going to go do something. You're not giving her your soul. You're giving her your muscles. You're giving her your effort. You're giving her your money. She wants your soul. And that's just being, and that's super hard.
You're not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastinating. Big difference. Because if it's a habit, I can teach you to use science to break it. You see, all habits have 3 parts. There's a trigger, and in the case of procrastination, the trigger's always stress. Then there's a pattern you repeat, and in the case of procrastination, it is to avoid doing something. And then there's a reward. You get a little stress relief. The only way to break a habit, you guys, is not to deal with the triggers. You're never going to get rid of the stress in your life, but you can 100% change your pattern of avoiding work. So next time that you're in a situation where you feel yourself hesitate, you spent way too much time checking out the highlights from last night's score, what you're going to do is you're going to go, oh, I must be stressed out about something. Acknowledge the stress. Then go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to count to yourself because I want you to interrupt the habit that's stored here, and I want you to awaken your prefrontal cortex. Then I want you to just work, just for 5 minutes. The reason why I want you to only work for 5 minutes is because your problem isn't working. It's the habit of avoiding.
When fathers aren't around, you'll often see little boys who are more impulsive, who are more aggressive. Fathers and mothers are both critical to the development of children, which is a very controversial thing to say today, because if you're raised without one, you are missing a piece, but they're not the same. And they're not the same because our hormones dictate they're not the same. So fathers produce a hormone in great quantities called vasopressin. Vasopressin is the protective aggressive hormone. It helps fathers to protect their family. There was a study that was done where mothers and fathers lay in bed and the baby cries, and the fathers sleep through the baby's distress cries, but the mothers wake up right away. But with the rustling of leaves outside the window, the mothers sleep through it and the fathers wake up right away, because the fathers are attuned to predatorial threat. So our nurturing hormones make us different.
Whenever you're with somebody, it may be the last time you see them again. You just don't know. So make it great. What have you got to lose? You may never see this person again. We don't know. Life is like, you don't know. So just make it great.
You have to accept what has happened. You need to accept reality. It's one thing to accept the fact life isn't fair, this is cruel, I don't deserve this. It's a whole nother ballgame to accept that this is what has happened. It's not changing. And the longer that you hold on to the wish that this didn't happen, or that things were different, or that somehow the situation wasn't what it was, or you weren't in the position that you're in, the longer you hold on to this wish, the longer you prolong your own suffering. I mean, most of human suffering, our internal pain, our anguish, it comes from the desire to have things be different than how they are. You know, there's one quote I love from the poet Rumi. Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you.
There is no one like you. There has never been anyone like you. There shall never be anyone like you. Therefore, know yourself. Be yourself. Authenticity is everything.
What is the one spy trick you would teach everyone that they can use to improve their life instantly?
So the most important spy trick to change everything immediately is something called perception versus perspective. We all look at the world through our own perception, but perception is your interpretation of the world around you, but it's unique only to you. There's no advantage in your perception. That's why so many people find themselves arguing all the time, trying to convince other people of their own perception. The way that you win any argument, the way that you get ahead in your career, the way that you outsell or outrace anybody is when you move off of perception and move into perspective. Perspective is the act or the art of observing the world from outside of yourself, whether that's outside of yourself as like an entity just observing in a third from a different point of view, or even more powerful, you sit in the shoes, you sit in the seat of the person opposite you, and you think to yourself, what is their life like? What do they feel right now? Are they comfortable? Are they uncomfortable? Are they afraid? Are they scared? What's the stressor that they woke up to this morning? What's the stressor that they're going to go to sleep with tonight? When you shift places and get out of your own perception and into someone else's perspective, now you're thinking like them, which is giving you an informational advantage. But you know what they're all doing? Everyone else out there is trapped in their own perception, not thinking about a different perspective. So immediately you have superior information, superior positioning, you have an advantage that they don't have. And if you do that to your boss, it's going to change your career. If you do that to your spouse, it's going to change your marriage. If you do that to your kids, it's going to change your family legacy, because nobody else out there is doing it.
What's the difference between people who are actually rich and those who are acting like they're rich?
People who are actually rich, like you, Rick, they're not concerned about impressing you. They are apex predators. They do not worry about what you think about them.
Wow.
It is the guy that you see walking into a 3 Michelin star restaurant in a quiet, normal looking outfit, sweater vest situation, eats his meal, leaves a 50% tip because they can. That's true wealth. Then you've got the wannabe wealth that goes to that same restaurant, dripped out in a designer label, you know, making a scene. Why isn't this water sparkling? This is still, I don't like that. No. Like, just, you know, really, really new to the experience, and then leaves a 10% tip.
3 days of pain, the rest is easy. So it takes about 3 days to shift the biological mechanisms to make you a morning person. Sunlight, exercise, caffeine and eating, and social interactions bring your circadian clock into alignment with all of those Zeitgebers. So when I said it takes 3 days, if tomorrow you want to start beginning the process of becoming an early riser, you'd set your alarm for 5 a.m. No matter what time you went to sleep the night before, you're going to get up and you're going to do the 4 things that I described. Maybe leave out food if you don't want to eat. Maybe leave out caffeine if you want to delay by 90 minutes. It's going to hurt. And then by the early afternoon, you'll be dragging a bit. And you just have to be careful to not overindulge in caffeine, which will then cause you to fall asleep later. Then you want to go to sleep at your now naturally slightly earlier sleep time. The next day, you'll notice it'll be a little bit easier to do the morning routine I just described. And by the 3rd day, you ought to be waking up with or before the alarm by a few minutes or moments.
You know the rule at Disney, the Disney rule for hugging?
No.
I learned this recently. It's the best thing in the world. At Disney, all of the characters are trained that when a little kid hugs you, you may not let go until the kid lets go first.
That's so good.
Isn't that the best? You hug the kid. Oh, it makes me cry. You hug the kid as long as the kid wants to hug you. And now do that with a friend. Hug your friend until they let go. You know, apply the Disney rule.
I will say this. There will come a time in your life where it's easier to do the smaller thing, the petty thing, maybe even the wrong thing, but the much more rewarding experience is to be the bigger person or to be the bigger people and to heal anything that you've ever gone through and enjoy the benefits of a positive, rebuilt, reinforced connection with somebody that I guarantee you have a soft spot for in your heart.
If a bird lands on the branch, does the bird trust the branch or does it trust its wings? And the clue, I've seen many birds land on branches, but what I've never seen is a branch break and the bird fall and die. Trust your wings.
Wow. Define a good friend.
I believe that friendship is 2 or more people who agree to grow together. And so a good friend is somebody who we have decided that we're gonna grow together.
How do you define a bad friend?
A friend who's trying to extract rather than grow.
And you can cook how you want to cook, but I'm just letting you know, don't add no ingredients and don't take none out. That's the recipe. But just know, it get hot in that kitchen, boy, and everything may not work properly. But you still gotta cook. And guess what? People gonna be coming with plates out. They gotta be fed. Whether you want to go sit down and eat a plate yourself, I realize ain't nobody cook for you. You the chef, dog. Keep cooking.
Nietzsche said, "I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible." The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
There's a brain structure called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. As we pointed out before, that's a noun, it's a name, it doesn't mean anything. We could call it the cookie monster.
Right.
But what's interesting about this brain area is there are now a lot of data in humans, not some mouse study, showing that when people do something they don't want to do, when people do anything that they, and this is the important part, that they don't want to do, it's not about adding more work, it's about adding more work that you don't want to do. Yes. This brain area gets bigger. Here's what's especially interesting about this brain area to me. The anterior mid-cingulate cortex is smaller in obese people. It gets bigger when they die. It's larger in athletes. It's especially large or grows larger in people that see themselves as challenged and overcome some challenge. Right. And in people that live a very long time, this area keeps its size. In many ways, scientists are starting to think of the anterior mid-cingulate cortex not just as one of the seats of willpower, but perhaps actually the seat of the will to live.
Okay, so I'm 36. I'm not married and I don't have kids. And I finally, I've been greeted with a lot recently within my world of people being like, oh. And I just feel like there's a lot of women who probably need to hear that it's okay to not have that at this point in your life. Like, I've seen so many people in my life settle down, have kids, have the family, and that's beautiful and that's amazing. And I know that that's a part of my life soon. it isn't yet, but I think that I do believe that there's big lessons within being alone at this time in your life. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm willing to bet you're being called towards something really, really amazing. So to like enjoy the time with yourself. Basically just don't compare your journey to anyone else's.
I don't know who said the saying, but like usually, you know, you're the closest to getting what you want. Is always the hardest. It's always the feeling when you're getting ready to, you know, people give up right before they get what they've always wanted to get. People quit and they give up. And I will not be the person who quit before I got what I wanted or what I needed or what I felt I was supposed to have, you know? Like, that wasn't for me, it wasn't for me. I'm gonna keep grinding, I'm gonna keep knocking on the door until I get what I feel.
Mental strength or physical strength?
Physical strength. Mental strength is downstream from it.
I think mental first. I think mental strength is the #1 issue in the world right now. I think we need to make our young people mentally stronger. They're all gym bunnies.
I don't disagree.
They're all gym bunnies. They're all piling the weights on, but they don't have it up here.
I think that most people are neither. I think that most people have atrophied physically and mentally. And I think that the easiest change that you can do, trying to think your way out of overthinking is like trying to sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction. And you can't really change the mind with the mind. You have to change it with the body first. So going for a walk will do way more for your mood than sitting and thinking about and vacillating about whatever's dealing with you. If I had the choice between a good night's sleep or a hard training session, I would go to the gym because the difference in my mood before and after the gym is way more than before and after a night's sleep. So I don't disagree. The two work simpatico together. But for me, if you do not have a physical practice of some kind and you're struggling with mental health, you need to look at the physical side before you look at the mental side. That is the foundation. That's the raw materials of what your mentality is going to grow out of.
Whenever you wake up in the morning, today is going to be a great day. You have to nudge your brain, right? We have a conscious mind, we have an unconscious mind, we have a self-image, and your subconscious is paying attention to the words that the conscious mind is saying. And so if you're like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, today's going to be a bad day, you're going to have a bad day because you just programmed your subconscious mind to do that. If you want to have a good day, it starts the night before. Is what went well today? So when I go to bed, I say a prayer and then I go, what went well? And I go on a treasure hunt because I'm purposefully looking for what are the right things that happened. And I look for the micro moments, you know, like what's the smallest thing? And for me, where I live, I see a lot of hummingbirds and butterflies, and I just focus on them.
Most people in their entire life will never change the way they sound. They will never change the way they communicate. They'll change the way they dress, they'll change their hair, they'll change their glasses, they'll change all these things about themselves, but the way they communicate and the way they sound stays consistent generally. It's because there are a lot of psychological blocks that keep us sounding the same. We keep ourselves sounding the same. I'll share with you a few of these, okay? With my vocal teacher, at the beginning of my journey, when she got me to do things with my voice, where she said, all right, let's do a really high voice. Have a bit of a play, Vin. And, you know, go into falsetto. And she would make me do things like this. I'd go red because I'd go, oh, that feels so weird. Oh, now I'm becoming so deep with my voice. This feels so fake and it feels phony. She goes, well, if you could make the sound and you played the key on your piano, you describe to me then, how is it fake? How is it fake? If you are able to make that sound, that is you, that is your instrument, that is just you playing with keys you're unfamiliar with. That's it. You've gone through this entire life being so familiar with this key that anytime you pressed any other key, you go, oh, it's not me. No. You're just familiar with this key and you're unfamiliar with the others.
One of my favorite lessons I learned was from a monk who said to me one day, I said to him, like, what do you think happiness is? And he said, I don't even talk about happiness. I think we're using the wrong word. He said, I look for peace. He said, I look for peace and contentment. And he said, sometimes in your life, just pause for a moment and ask yourself how many of the things you have now were the things that you wished for a decade ago. Just pause and do that. And he said, what you will be shocked to discover is the person that you cannot bear to have a conversation with today, that is your spouse, you dreamed one day that they would look your way in a bar. You dreamed and you yearned for the day that they would text you back. That car that you now loathe because it has to be serviced and you have to change the tires on and you have to... There was a time when you looked at it in a catalog and you went, that is my dream car.
Be very clear on what it is that you want. Spend 5 minutes sitting down and visualizing those things being true, and then give gratitude for that. Like, see it, feel it in your body, taste it in your mouth, hear it in your ears. completely immerse yourself in that for 5 minutes, longer if you can, and then just be so grateful for all of that. Essentially what you're doing is moving your brain from a fear state to a trust state, and that is the gateway to making these changes.
People want to find their passion, but you don't find it, you create it. And you create it by getting good at something. And to get good at stuff, you start by doing something you suck at. Then you get good, then you like it, then people ask how you found your passion. Answer: by starting when you sucked and not giving up.
If you cannot write down right now on a piece of paper, this is what I want. If you can't list them, this is what I want, then you can't have it. Because your mind will get for you what you want, but you have to feed it a vision of what you're looking for. It's always interesting because the function of the mind is to make coherence between your belief and your reality. If I believe it's not going to work, then the function of the mind will manifest in a situation where it doesn't work. If I totally believe this is how it's going to work, then my mind will set me up in a situation where it works that way. And all of a sudden, that's when you start to realize, wait a minute, it's not chance anymore. This isn't chance. This is creativity. And we are creators.
I think you know when you find your people when you don't feel stupid. You hang out with the wrong people, but you don't necessarily know they're the wrong people, and you kind of leave feeling like, I wasn't being funny enough, I wasn't being cool enough, I feel bad about this thing that I said, I feel embarrassed about this thing that I did. And the right people will not make you feel bad about being yourself.
So there's a story about a shoe salesman in Los Angeles in the 1950s. I can't remember his name, but he was a very successful entrepreneur who owned a whole bunch of women's shoe stores.
Yeah.
And a journalist asked him, "What's your secret?" And he said, 2, not 3. And they're like, "What do you mean?" He goes, if a woman comes into my store, I'll bring her a pair of shoes. She'll try them on. And she'll say, "Could I see that pair, please?" And I'll bring her a second pair of shoes. And she said, "Could I also see that pair, please?" And he'll say, "Which one would you like me to take away?"
Oh.
Because what he found is when they had a choice of 3, they bought none. And when they had a choice of 2, they bought 1.
I love that.
Right? 2, not 3. And too much choice is overwhelming.
Oh
The
man,
constraint.
I need to apply that to my life. You see, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And so what I've started doing in my life is I've added constraint, right? And I didn't even realize it until we're talking right now, which is like, I've got all these options on the table. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
right?
no, I know what you mean.
And what I'll start doing is I'll start pairing them up. I'll be like, okay, between these 2, okay, get rid of that one. Okay, between these 2, okay, get rid of that one. Between these 2, and the choices become really easy. And then I get to the final 2, and I'm like, oh, it's obvious, it's that one.
If you sit within 25 feet of a high performer, your own performance improves by 15%. Here's the kicker. If you sit within 25 feet of a low performer, your own performance decreases by 30%. This means that our negative emotions are more contagious. That if you're around people who are low performers, whatever that means to you, who have negative cues, who are feeling anxious or tired or low confident, you could catch those cues and that affects your own performance. This is why it is incredibly critical to invest in the 5 people who you spend the most time with. You want to make sure those 5 people are the cues you want to catch. Do you like the cues they're sending? Do they give you the right motivation, feelings? Do they make you feel liked? Do they make you a better version of yourself?
Practice does not make perfect. Practice with a night of sleep is what makes perfect, because you come back the next day and you're 20 to 30% better in terms of your skilled performance than where you were at the end of your practice session the day before.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, sleep is the greatest legal performance enhancing drug that most people are probably neglecting in sport.
Wow. And not just for your physical performance, but actually skill learning.
That's right. Skill learning, memory, and then also, downstairs in the body, all of the recuperative benefits. And you can flip the coin, by the way. If you're getting 6 hours of sleep or less, your time to physical exhaustion drops by up to 30%. So you could spend all of your time training for a 10-round fight, perfect condition, but then I put you on 6 hours of sleep the night before, you're now going to be physically exhausted by round 7 rather than round 10.
Pressure is a privilege. It's what makes you. And mistakes are not failures. Do not ever perceive a mistake as a failure. Perceive it as feedback. Everything is feedback. Pay attention, be curious, be nimble, Don't take things personally, and never lose sight of your dream. Struggle is a never-ending process. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it in every generation.
Think about it. The first 10 years of your life, you were a literal child. The second 10 years of your life, you were in school, you're going through puberty, you still weren't even a fully functioning human being yet. You were learning about yourself and your body. You were still developing. In the first few years of your 20s, when in the lead up to your 20s even, you were figuring out your career. You were probably still in education, you were probably having work experience. You were only just starting to step into the real world. You were probably just having your first experience with making money in your early 20s. And so now you're 25, and you have officially just started your life. Your frontal lobe of your brain has just developed at this age. You are finally a fully grown adult who has had experience in friendship, in education, in work, with money, in having your own freedom and being able to go out into the world alone. So why are you criticizing yourself for not having it all figured out when up until this point you was just growing?
I think love is two things. I think it's consideration, so having someone else in mind. Like literally, if you make a cup of coffee for somebody and you put in the oat milk, because that's what they like. That's an act of love because you have consideration. When I slice the cardboard box and flatten it, I have Chris in mind. And the second part of love for me is admiration, which is the ability to see something in someone else that you admire.
You need to be your partner, your person's biggest fan. I mean that with my whole heart. You need to be your partner's biggest fan. And if you can't, then you either need to check in on your insecurities, you either need to pay attention, or you've chosen the wrong person. If you don't want their dreams to come true, if you don't want them to succeed, if you don't want them to be their happiest, best self, do not promise to spend a lifetime with them. I really, really think that that's important and not talked about enough. We talk about the conflict stuff, right? We talk about how to handle boundaries and how to do all of that, but you want someone in your corner. You want someone in your corner on your worst days, on your best days, and you want to feel like you're on the same team. And I deeply believe you need to be your person's biggest fan, and that contributes to them being the one and building the right relationship.